Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing, and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 579 today. Yes, 579. We are going to be talking about the Google Maps API and the fact that people are getting emails saying you've got to lock your keys down, otherwise they might be abused. Okay, it's strange sometimes the messages that you get through. So Google Maps API, again, this is another one that I believe had its own platform and then has been pulled into the Google Cloud project to be able to use the Maps API now. Okay, so let me just start from there. The Maps API is the one that allows you to connect your website to Google Maps, put up a Google map on your site and put up a Google map on your website or in your app or whatever it is. I'm pointing to my phone over here. So, when you go to and there's a Google map on a website, that's actually got a digital key, a digital file that when it goes out to Google Maps and says, hey, I want to display this map on my site, Google Maps says, yeah, sure, here it is, no worries. And it knows that that's your site using it. Again, this is because they moved it into the Google Cloud project. They are monetizing everything. I spoke about that in yesterday's episode, why I think they're doing it, how I feel about it in general. Well, no, I didn't actually say how I felt about it in general. Well, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did say how I felt about it in general. But more importantly, the fact that you are going, there is a potential that you will be hit with a fee if you use the Google Maps API. There is a free tier. They always seem to have a free tier. So check it out. Make sure you're happy with it. If you're a small site, if you're a small business owner and you've got a micro site and it doesn't get a lot of traffic, I doubt you're going to hit the issues with any issues with getting billed for using Google Maps. It really is aimed at the businesses that use it extensively and use resources to a point that they need to add more to keep the system running. Okay, so when you first create an API key within Google Maps, or when this all first started and we all had to go and get our API keys from Google Maps, we could just add an API key. We didn't have to lock it down. We just got an API key. We could anyone who had that key could plug it into their website and they would use that API key to access Google Maps, which is fine, which is great, right? I could have 4 or 5 sites that I'm running and I can use the one API key and just go plug it in, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. All those sites can use that one API key. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that if that key is shared to others and then they start using it on their websites and the usage starts to go up, you're the one on the hook for it. You are the one that are going to have to pay the bill for the use of that, for the traffic that is associated, or the usage that is associated with that API key. So what Google have done and what Google had done, and they just really hadn't sort of knuckled down on it until recently. And when I say recently, we're talking the last year or so. Until recently, they've really just said, yeah, whatever, you've got API keys. Now we keep getting messages. I keep getting messages. A couple of my clients keep getting messages saying, your API keys are open. You should restrict their usage. And people are quite rightly confused as to what that means. That's a long way of saying today's episode is about how you lock down your Google API key and what that all means and where to go look for it. So I'm going to actually show you the Google Maps console under Google Cloud project. Oh my goodness, don't try and say any of that fast. where you find the API key for your maps and how you can lock it down. I may even create one and show you how you can lock it down from creation. So without further ado, how about I share my screen and we get on with it? Okie cocky. This is my Google Console account. Am I in my Google Console account? Yes, this is my Google Console account, my Google Cloud Project Console account. You get to it by going to console.cloud.google.com. You've got to log in with your Google account. When you go to the various bits and pieces, it will ask you to create a billing account. Now, I've created a billing account. When you create your Google Console account or Cloud Console account, it will ask you to create a billing account. If you have trouble with that or you can't find it or you want to make sure it's right, from the console here, from the home screen of the console, click on billing and follow that. I'm not going to go into that today. What I want to look at the Google Maps side of things. So Google Maps, it all comes under Google Cloud now. Across here under the menu on the left-hand side, across here, everyone, left-hand side of the screen, top left-hand side of the screen, there are three lines, which when you mouse over it, it says navigation menu. Remember, three dots, three lines. Normally there's something there that you can look at. If you click on that, that's going to pop out a little menu for you. Scroll down to where it says the Google Maps platform and click on that. Now, when I first came into here to do this demo, it asked me to create a key straight away, or it asked me to tell me what I wanted and what I wanted to do, and then it created my key for me straight away. Follow the bouncing ball. If you are just setting up your account, this assumes that you've already got an API key configured, and you just want to go and clean it up. But let's go through and see what we've got. This is the landing page or the console for the Google Maps platform. You can tell that because up in the top left-hand corner under where it says Google Cloud, it says Google Maps platform. You'll see you've got your overview. You've got a whole heap of things here. I'm not going to go through most of these. I'm going to click on the APIs and services. We're just going to have a quick look at that. This shows you all of the all of the APIs available to use for Google Maps. A lot of this is going to mean nothing to you. When you go to create a map on your site and it says you need a key, you have to follow the bouncing balls again to create that key so you get the right access to the right APIs. But these are the APIs that you can get access to. If you're looking for where your keys are in that menu, on the left-hand side, come down to where it says keys and credentials. If we click on that, I am going to ignore this, configure this consent screen. We don't use it. We're just using this to connect a website that already has got something running on it. To view all credentials, visit the credentials in APIs and services. We will look at that after. Now you'll see here, we've got a Maps platform API key, and if I come across it says the key is restricted. I'm going to go in and have a look at that in a moment. We've got 31 APIs that it is allowed to access. It was created, oh look, today. I created it today because we were doing this demonstration, and I can show the key to get it if I need it. Under the actions, I can edit it or delete it. Okay, so that's where your API key is. If you're looking for it to start with, it's under Google Cloud Console, console.cloud.google.com. You come down to the Google Maps platform using the menu on the left-hand side, and then come down to credentials, keys and credentials. If we click on that key, it's going to take us into the details for it. Okay, so we now have key restrictions, application restrictions. The application restrictions limit API's key usage to specific websites, IP addresses, Android applications, or iOS applications. You can set one application restriction per key. So at the moment, this is an open key. I can use this on pretty much any website, any application, any IP address I want. It's going to be, it will use it, it will continue to be used. When you get that message from Google, when you get the email from Google that says you should consider restricting the key, this is what it's talking about, is this application restriction. We're not going to worry about the API restrictions. The API restrictions really just tell us what APIs we can access with the key. These are set up when you create the key. The application restrictions is the one that we really want to look at. So we've got none. You can use it on anything. Websites. If I click on websites, what you'll see is you get options here. Now under websites, how do I restrict my API key to specific websites? Use the HTTP referrer to restrict the URLs that can use the API key. Here are some examples of URLs. You can use a single domain with no subdomains, so i.e. askcharlyleetham.com, or in this case example.com. You can use a single subdomain, sub.example.com. You can use a wildcard subdomain, asterisk or star.example.com. But notice in every case they've got that https:// in front of it. You can allow it for a domain and all its subdomains. So you can also have example.com and star.example.com. You can also have it for a URL with a non-standard port. Now, these are typically used if you're using specific applications on your website, on your server. You will know if you need to use a port. It will tell you quite clearly you need to use the port number. The one that you probably are going to use the most is your single domain. I would, however, if you are setting this up to work on your website and you want to, for example, I have my main website and it runs, and then I want to do a rebuild on it, or I want to do a revamp on it, and I want to allow it to, and I want to take a copy of it, put it on a subdomain, and run it and do my rebuild on the subdomain while the main site's running. I don't want to have to create a new API key to do that. I just want to use the one API key because then it will go back on and it'll just work. So what I would do, honestly, is I would use this option here, a domain and all its subdomains using the wildcard asterisk star sign. Now that's entirely up to you. You need to be really, really clear as to what websites you want to use this key on. You can have it on multiple websites using this one. Like you can use one restriction per API key, the restriction being whether it's a website, IP address, Android apps, or iOS apps. I believe we can have multiple websites added on here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to test that premise right here. So now that I've gone through what they are, and you've got some really good help over here, you've also got the Learn More button. I would recommend having a read of that if you want to understand it a little bit more. Scroll down to where it says website restrictions. We have an if left blank, your API key will accept requests from any website. Okay, so we're not going. We need to lock this down so that someone can't get your key. Someone can't, however they might do it, get a copy of the key and use it on their websites and run up your billing account. Click on the add button. But there's an add button just under that says add. It's got a plus button next to it, and put in the full qualified URL that you want to use, https:// for example. I'm going to say done. So now I've got my website and my main domain added. I'm going to add the wildcard subdomains. So anything on a subdomain of askcharlyleetham.com will be able to use it. And if I wanted to, for example, I could put in another website. For example. So now I've got three websites, well, two domains, and all the subdomains are under one of the domains that can use this API key, that can use this key. If I have this key and I've got it on a site that comes from a different URL to these, it's not going to work. It's going to give me on the side, it will actually say there is an error. We can't use this key. It'll actually throw up an error when you try to use it. On these sites, this key will operate. Let's scroll down. We're not going to worry about as I said, I'm not going to change the API keys. That's fine. Just going to click save. And we wait while it does its thing. Okay, cool. And now if I come back here and we look at the API key, this is the one we were just looking at, the date. Let's go in and have a look. If I click on it again, I can see what websites it's limited to. If I want to add websites to it, I can. If I want to remove websites from it, I can. So one key can handle multiple websites. This is the same process whether you want to use it for an Android app or an iOS app or an IP address. I am just going to cover websites because that is mostly what my clientele and what most people I know use this for. If it's an Android app or an iOS app, typically we're talking about app developers who need to understand this stuff. For us as website owners, this is what we need to know. Okay, so let me just quickly recap how we got there. I'm just going to go back. So when the way we got into that, just as a reminder, we went to console.cloud.google.com, logged in with our Google account, made sure we had a bit, you need to make sure you've got a billing account. In the left-hand menu, we came down until we found the Google Maps platform. And then once we're in Google Maps platform, we came down to keys and credentials, identified the key that we wanted to use and restricted it, added in the restrictions. Now I hear you say, what if we want to have multiple keys and not one key across multiple sites, but we want to have a key per site? You can absolutely do that, and you do that by coming up here to where it says create credentials. And so when I say come up here, I must remember towards the top of this screen where it's on the keys and credentials screen, towards the top of the screen where it says keys and credentials, all map platform APIs, and then it's got a plus create credentials. If you click on that and then click API keys, it will automatically create the API key for you. There's not much we have to do except tell it what we want to use. Okay, so we've got the key. We do need to copy the key. I will be deleting this one. It's done. And it says here, your API key is limited to the Google Maps platform APIs and services. To set specific restrictions, you need to edit the API. We've already done that, but let me show you that one again. We'll click on OK. Now you'll see it's created API key 2. If I go in and edit that, I guess something I should note here is that you can change the name of it too. So it doesn't have to stay at these really generic names. You can have it be really specific. So yeah, you got the name, and then under application restrictions, again, you click on websites and you just add the websites in that this key applies to. So you can have multiple API keys in your account. Those API keys can address different websites, different functionality. Hopefully I didn't confuse that one too much for you. Tying down your Google API keys in general for any of the services that they use is a good thing, particularly, and I'm going to keep coming back to the issue that they are now billing for some of the services. If you exceed their minimum free tier, if you exceed their free tier offerings, you will get billed for their usage. There will be no recourse if your key is unrestricted. If you have not locked your key down and said it can only be used in these specific situations, there will be no recourse to go back and say, I didn't know. I didn't understand. They're sending out emails about it. They're letting us know about it. We need to be responsible business owners. We need to be responsible webmasters, webmistresses, whatever you want to call us. And we need to make sure that we understand what is going on in our own accounts. Hopefully that clears up how to lock down your API key, what it all means. how you can add a new one, how you can have different ones for different functionality and such. If there's questions, and I hope there are, I hope, I've actually managed to get you guys to ask questions that I haven't answered, because that's always a way that we learn. We all learn together in that respect. Please drop them wherever you're watching or listening to this video. You are more than welcome to come and join my community. askcharlyleetham.locals.com. Join the conversation there. If this video has been useful, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, consider liking the channel and ringing the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.